This is the Udefine Mic Active. It is a wireless microphone system that has a receiver and two transmitters and is very, very tiny. But it also has two unique features that I thought you might find kind of cool. So if you would like to know more about what those features are in this microphone system, well, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So this is the Udefine Mic Active. And they did send it out to me. I do want to let you know that they did not sponsor this video, and I am not an affiliate of Udefine, but I will tell you that Udefine is an affiliate of Xiaomi. Yeah, Xiaomi is a very big telephone company, and these guys make products with them or for them. I'm not too sure exactly what their relationship is, but I do know that they do have one because they informed me of this. So I thought I would pass that on to you because it kind of lets me know and lets you know that this is not a small company, that they are actually a part of something very, very big. So let's go to the downward shot because I already took this out of the box and I want to show you what this actually looks like because it looks very, very cool and you got to see this. Okay, so I've got it out of the box. And now it doesn't really have a carry case, and I'm going to show you, how I solve that issue. But it does come with these little connectors here. This is what the wind muffs look like, and this is what the receiver looks like. And this is what the little magnetic clip looks like that you would put on your camera for a cold shoe mount. But if you look closely, where are the microphones? You see the receiver, but I don't really see the microphones. Well, guess what? They're actually on the receiver. And the receiver is also the thing that charges the transmitters. So everything is built into this little tiny compact unit. I'm going to get out my tape measure and I'm going to show you how big this thing is. So right now, the whole thing with the transmitters attached is only 2 inches by 1 inch. And I think it is only looks like to be about 3/4 of an inch thick. Okay, so not very big at all. Now, when you want to take off the transmitters, all you have to do is just pull on them because they are magnetic themselves. So there's no magnets that attaches to this. The transmitter bases here are the magnets, and that happens to be one of the cool features that I thought I would show you. So you can take this one off, you can take this one off, and then when you power up the receiver here, it's going to show me that I got 2 transmitters active. I've got it in camera mode here. Now I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Oh, it just went right back in there. Show you what that looks like. So if you look on this side, there's 2 charging pins over here, and I do believe I had to remove that blue tape. So when you first get that, there's a blue protective tape that keeps them from charging, and you will have to remove that, and you do that for the first time when you get them. Over here it's got USB-C charging there. And on the transmitters, you can also charge these individually as well. So if you just needed to charge one of these and you didn't want to have to put it in the case to charge it, you don't have to. So you can charge them separately as well. And over here, here's the other charging pins for the other transmitter. And up top, it's got the power button, and it also has camera mode and phone mode. And back here, it's got this nice little psychedelic pattern, and I'm going to get into what's special about this. And back here, the USB-C. So there's your screen, and it's got the lights here to tell you what percentage of charge you have. This would be 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 75, and then 75 to 100. So that's what that would stand for. And then of course you have their logo over here, and on the transmitters themselves. Now there is no logo on the transmitters, and some people might find that very appealing. Now these transmitters also have reverb, which is also one of the unique features to this, is they have a reverb built into them. They have noise cancellation as well, and they also have a very nice grill up here for their capsule, And then over here you've got the button so that you can change all the modes. Over what this little button over here does now. So this little button, if I click it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, really fast, it puts the microphone into mute mode. Then to take it out of mute mode, I have to click it 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. Now it's no longer muted. You could be able to hear the person's voice. So if I click it once, now we have noise cancellation, and noise cancellation is either on or off. And if I click it twice, then I have reverb, and reverb is either on or off. Now I want to take a look at this transmitter over here, because sometimes what you do with this one affects this one, because the noise cancellation on some of these microphone systems is in the receiver and not in the transmitter. Let's find out now, if I change the functions on this transmitter, does it affect this one? So if I click on a noise cancellation, and if I click on noise cancellation on this one, it is separate. So the noise cancellation is built into the transmitters, and you don't see that too often, because a lot of times the noise cancellation is in here because of the circuitry that's involved. So if I activate noise cancellation here, it's not going to affect the one over here. So if I'm going to take the one off of here, so this one here is on and this one is off. And if I take this one off, and if I put this one on, it doesn't affect this one. So now if I do this, if I go click twice for reverb, and that's reverb, there's no reverb over here. If I set this one down and I click twice on this one, I got reverb there. Okay, there's noise cancellation, and this one is unaffected. So that's kind of a big deal, because you may want independent control over your microphone system. Now this guy over here, as you can see, when the transmitters are out, it is very, very tiny. So I'm going to get out the measurements again. So I'm just going to show you again. So over here, now we were down to, I'm just going to flip it over here to inches. We're a little bit more than an inch, I'd say 1 1/4 inches. And of course the other dimensions aren't going to change. The transmitters themselves are also very tiny. They are 1/2 inch there, so I've got, well, maybe a little bit better than 1/2 inch, 5/8. And then of course the width of them is roughly a little bit, about 3/8, I believe. So now if you notice, it's got this different looking camera mount, and you're like, well, what's so special about this? Well, this is not magnetic. The magnet is actually built into here. Yeah. So if I take this, I can stick it to things. So I got something to demonstrate with for you. If I take my phone case, I can stick it onto there. Now it's not a very strong magnet, so if I shake it, it's going to move around a bit, but it will stay. It's not going to fall off very easily, but you can shift it around. It's not super strong, but you can also do that with the transmitters. Now the transmitters, I notice, have a little bit stronger of a magnet, but you know, you can stick them to things. Now what's unique about that, I'm just going to go back to me. So what the uniqueness about that is that you don't have to have a magnet on them. So if you needed to put a microphone, you just wanted to stick it on like a fridge or something, and you wanted to mic an area, and you know that the person's going to be close to there, but you didn't want to mic them per se, you could mic a specific area because they will just attach there. And that may come in handy, not all the time, but for very unique purposes. So you'll know when that happens, because you know, when you're doing YouTube and things like that, you're going to find yourself in positions where you're like, geez, I wish this thing was magnetic and I could just stick it to something, and I could just, you know, maybe you want to put a microphone and you just want to stick it to a tripod or something like that, and you don't feel like sticking it to a person, so you're just going to stick it to the, you know, something like that, and it's just going to stay there and behave itself, and then you don't have to sit there and fuss with it or put a zip tie around it or anything like that. You can just stick it to it, and away you go. So you can get quite creative with these type of features. So you know, I don't want to just kind of pass them over. It is unique to this microphone system, and I thought it was kind of cool. Okay, so this is the wind muff that comes with it. Now, I wasn't overly impressed with the wind muff. It's got this little bump here, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see that little indent into the rubber. And anyways, you push on that and you can change the features on the microphone system there. So see if I click on that, if I take that, I can add mute, and I can take off the reverb. And as you know, it goes by the clicks. So you have to remember how many clicks. So it's 3 clicks to do the muting, it is 1 click to do the noise cancellation, and 2 quick clicks to do the reverb. So just keep that in mind, that you need to remember that. And these little guys are for the phone. So when you hook this up to a phone, and you can either hook it up to an iPhone or you can hook it up to an Android phone, this has got the USB-C connectors, and you do need to pay attention to how you hook it up. So it's an OTG connector, and this part here needs to go to the phone. So it'll tell you right here, so it'll say for mobile, and there's an arrow here. So you got to pay attention to that, because I don't think they put that too much in the, so I don't think that was clearly marked in the instructions. So I'm just letting you know now that if you have this and you're finding that it's not connecting with your phone, you can't get any audio, it's because this is backwards. So just keep that in mind. And you're going to connect that in this manner over here. So I'm just going to show you. So this guy here, whoops, I got it backwards. See, I did it already. You put that into here, and then you're going to grab your phone, and then you're going to plug this part in your phone like so, like that, and then you're going to have this like so. So it's going to look like this. It's very nice and compact, and then when you want to put your microphones away, they store just ever so neatly back here. So you don't have to worry about that. So when you want to put your microphones away, you just store them right in the case. And that's kind of cool. You just slap them in there like that, and they will charge. And so this is not just a receiver, it's also your charging unit. So it's so tiny, and that is very unique to this microphone system. So you can keep it just like this on your phone, and when you want to take it out, you just pull it out, and when they're green, by the way, when these are green, that means they're charging. And I'm going to put the specifications, so I'm just going to go back to me. So I'm going to put the specifications in the corner of how many hours you get out of the transmitters, how many times you can charge them, all that good stuff. So I'll put that in the corner right now. Okay, so now that you've seen what it looks like, and I'm going to go back to the downward shot, and I'm going to show you how it hooks into a camera. So because it is different in that it doesn't have a 3.5 to a 3.5. You have to use the, it doesn't have a 3.5 to 3.5. You have to use a USB-C to 3.5. Kind of go in reverse. So I just want to show you that. Okay, so I'm just going to unhook this from the phone. Set the phone over here. So when you're plugging it into a camera, you're actually going to plug this USB-C into here. So I did notice that this doesn't feel like a substantial cable. However, you can get other cables that do pretty much the same thing if you're not happy with this one. But it does work. I did use it, and it functions just fine. So, and it also has gold-plated tips on it. So this is a TRS connector. So then you would plug this into your camera's microphone input port, and then you would actually go over here. And then if you look over here, you're going to see one that says camera and one that says phone. So there's a little toggle switch over here. So this is if you're going to hook it into your phone through one of these connectors. Also have pass-through charging, so you can charge your phone while you use it. And also it has the camera connector over here. So you're going to use this little switch over here to toggle it. So I'm just going to go back to me for a quick second. So one thing I need to share with you is that when you hook this into your phone, you cannot play back the audio after you've recorded it. In other words, once you've hooked the receiver into your phone and you've recorded something using your phone, you will need to unplug the receiver so that you can hear that audio back. So it has to be unplugged when you want to hear that audio back. You want to monitor what you just recorded. I did test that myself, and that is what I found. You cannot record something and then play it back and have this plugged into your phone at the same time. Now, they do have another microphone system that I will be doing a review on, and we're going to be checking out that one to see if that's the case with that one as well, or maybe you can play back the audio while it's still plugged in. This one here, you cannot do that, but I do know that this one works really well with cameras. Okay, so now I have the microphone system hooked up. I've got noise cancellation off. So this is what it sounds like with noise cancellation off. Sounds pretty good, right? So can you hear the fan? And can you hear me? So you're going to hear a little bit of background noises. So now I'm going to activate the noise cancellation on this microphone system. And keep in mind, when you hook this up to your phone or your camera, you're going to want to make sure that you've had that toggle button either on phone or camera. The little picture of the camera will be the camera and the phone will be the phone. So just remember that. Otherwise, you're not going to record anything. So always check your levels on your camera. That will be a good indicator if you got it in the right mode or not. I noticed that you can find it nice and easy with your thumb. So there's no button on this side. There's a button on this side. So if I click it once, now I've got noise cancellation on. So if I look at it now, I can see that the light is on. This is noise cancellation. So one click, noise cancellation on and off. Double click would be reverb. Triple click is muting the microphone. That one button has all three functions. So remember that. So if I go click it off, so this is noise cancellation off. And if I click it twice, now this is reverb. How do I sound? Do I sound like I'm in a stadium ready to sing the national anthem? Oh, I know I do. So anyways, let me just shut off the reverb now. So reverb is off. And I'm going to turn on noise cancellation again. There's noise cancellation. There's noise cancellation off. Now I'm going to turn noise cancellation on with reverb. And you can do that as well. All three lights are lit. And if I want to mute it, 3 clicks. The light went red, just so you know. You couldn't hear me, but the light went red. And also my levels dropped off. So that's what that sounds like. Okay, so I turned off the reverb, and now we're going to go to the outdoor test. So I also did an outdoor test with the reverb and the noise cancellation, all that good stuff. And I wanted to show you what that was like. I even put the wind muff on. So let's go to that footage, and then we're going to come back in here for my final thoughts on this microphone system. Hi there. So now we're going to be doing a range test on the Udefine Mic Active. I'm also going to be doing one under Mic Lite, but this is their Udefine Mic Active. I have it hooked up to a camcorder because I need to have some zoom. And I also wanted to know if it works with a camcorder because this is what it sounds like. It's windy today, so I have the wind muff on here. Noise cancellation is off. So I've got the noise cancellation off. This has active noise cancellation, so we'll be testing that as well. But right now, this is what it sounds like with noise cancellation off. It also has reverb, and we're going to be testing that. It has a built-in reverb. Don't know what that sounds like. I won't know until I get back to the studio and do some analysis of this footage. But right now, I will be activating it, and we'll be testing that as well. But right now, we're just going to be doing a range test. No noise cancellation. And reverb will be set off. So this is with the wind muff on because I need it because of the wind. But other than that, that's what we have. Right now, I'm about 2 or 3 feet from the camera, but we're going to be going farther than that. So I'm just going to do a quick measurement. So I have 4 feet 3 inches. This is a digital measuring wheel, very accurate. So we're going to be checking out exactly how far away I am from the receiver line of sight. So I'm going to be turning around from time to time just to see how well it does going through the body. Now, just to give you an idea, anything beyond 50 feet is actually pretty good. You're not going to be that far away, and you're going to see the point of that as I walk farther back, that you're just not going to be that far away.
But usually it's 8 to 10 feet. And if I turn around here, you should still be able to hear me and see my levels and everything. All that should be good. So, you know, everything should be fine. Now, one unique feature of this microphone is that the receiver is also the charging case. So right now it has a transmitter on there, and it is currently transmitting it right on the camera. So that is one unique feature of this, on top of having the reverb effect. So as I've said many times before, microphones are tools, and if you need a certain tool for a certain job, that's where these things come in. So this one does have a lot of specific advantages over other wireless microphone systems, in that it's very compact. The transmitters will recharge in the receiver, so you can kind of tell that this is a division of Xiaomi because they're known for their innovation. So anyways, let's get on with the range test and let's go and check this out. So I'm going to be walking backwards for line of sight, and my cameraman is going to point to me which way to walk with his fingers, and he's going to just do his best to make sure that I do not wander too far. And right now we are at 25 feet 5 inches. So, and now I'm going to be walking a little bit farther this way, because he's got to make sure that I am in frame. So it is not easy to do this. You don't want to, it is not exactly flat ground here. So we are checking things out. Now here the wind is starting to pick up, and we'll see if the wind muffs are working, and we will also be testing the noise cancellation. So we're at 68 feet 9 inches. So, and I measured it right from the tripod, so that is where we're at. Now I'm going to be walking backwards even further, and we'll also be testing the mic light, which is a different type of microphone system. It's designed to work with your smartphone, and we're going to be doing that one too. So I'm just walking backwards, and we're at 100 feet. We're at 100 feet. So did you want to zoom in a bit for where the tree is, or just slightly? Okay, we're good. Okay, so we're at 105 feet 5 inches. So we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going and going, and I have to be careful not to trip because we're going backwards. Now I'm at 119 feet, so let's go back. Let's do it at 120. So it's 120 feet. This is pretty far away. I'm going to turn around to see if the audio cuts in and out, if I get any distortion or not. So I'm going to range test on that. So here we are there, and right now I'm actually holding the manual because I want to make sure that the numbers are in correspondence with those numbers, because I want to be fair to fair, because I want to be totally fair with Udefine, to make sure that, you know, what I'm testing is in correspondence with their results. Now, in the area, so we don't have too much things. So not a lot of power lines around here. We're not near any water. You know, there might be some ham radio operators, but that's about it. I do have an RF meter, and everything seems to be pretty good out this way. We're not getting a lot of that crosstalk. So we're going to keep going backwards, and we're going to continue on this journey. And I'm going to max it out at 200 feet because I personally think that anything beyond that is just unnecessary. You know, if you were filming by yourself, you'd probably be more concerned about someone stealing your camera and your microphone. By the time you could make it back there, they'd be gone. So the only thing that they're going to have is the audio of you screaming at them, telling them to stop, please stop stealing my camera. So we're at 180 feet now. I'm going to take us right to 200 even. And, you know, some of these microphones can go to 600 feet, which is, you know, really, really far. But as you can tell, your camera lens is going to be limited. So we can zoom in a bit. However, when you zoom in from this far away on a camcorder, it's very difficult to catch focus. So I'd like to have things in focus. And did you want to zoom in just a little bit? Okay, so we're going to zoom in a little bit and see if we got that. I'm going to turn around. So now inside, can you see transmitters, by the way? They don't weigh that much at all. And now I'm facing the camera. 200 feet, 5 inches. 200 feet, 5 inches. And if I go back another 20 feet, well, hey, you know what? Let's do it. We'll go line of sight though. So line of sight means that the transmitter needs to see the receiver. So if you wanted to know what that meant, then that's what line of sight means. When the minute you turn around, your body is basically mostly water. So, and that makes it very difficult for transmitters to transmit through that. So 239 feet, so 239 feet 1 inch. So now I'm going to go back towards it, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to do a test on the mic light. So that's either going to be a separate video, or I might combine them, but I might just do them as a separate video because each one of these microphone systems is very unique. Just to show the distance. Show me with a thumbs up that you did that. Can you hear me? Okay, so you zoomed all the way out to show the distance? Okay, so we zoomed all the way out just to show you just how far away this is. He can barely hear me talking. I'm shouting and he can barely hear me talking, so. Okay, we're gonna come back in now. We're gonna come back in. And then we're gonna do a little bit of the noise cancellation test. So you should be able to hear some background noise. There's a lot of wind. There's some car noises over there from the highway. So even though we're out in the country isn't necessarily all that quiet. I've been out here many times. Okay, we're at 100 feet. This is 100 feet exactly. I just stopped right on the nose. That's 100 feet. And I'm going to turn around here. Let's go back to 100 feet. I'm going to turn around. So 100 feet, I'm going to turn around. Is it cutting it out? And facing forward, does it cut in it out? Can you hear me? And we're going to keep coming back. Now we should start getting a pretty strong signal at this point. And now, normally you wouldn't do a reverb test out here. You know, oh, there's some wind. Is the wind muff working? I think it is. Wind muffs are great things. Okay, so now we're right around, this is 8 feet, this is perfect. This is where most people would do broadcasting from. Any news crew, anything like that, that's usually about 8 to 10 feet away. So I'm going to activate the noise cancellation. So this is noise cancellation on. Just going to double check it. This is noise cancellation on. There's cars revving their engines. Can you hear them? No. Now sometimes noise cancellation can sound a little bit on the flangey side. It'll have like a distorted effect. That's because they use a notch filter. Except for the AI noise cancellation, they actually will digitally figure out your voice and separate it from their surroundings. So we'll see how well this one does. Is it ENC or is it AI noise cancellation? You be the judge. Oh, there's a car just revving his motor. That's actually a good test. Okay, now I'm going to shut off noise cancellation. Okay, so now this is reverb. How does it sound? I have bugs biting me. Are the bugs in reverb? How does the reverb sound? Mosquitoes? I got everything trying to chew on me right now. So normally you don't hold the microphone like this, so we'll clip it to me just to make sure. Okay, so this is what it sounds like clipped to me. I got the reverb on. So this is what that sounds like. So that's it for the range test. That is it for the noise cancellation. I'm going to quickly check out the audio and make sure everything showed up good. And we'll go from there. We're going to go back to the studio and then we're going to test it in the studio. All right? Back to the studio. Now let's talk about what I did not like about this microphone system. So one of the things I did not like is that having that one button do all of those features can be kind of clumsy. So you can actually activate features that you didn't want to activate, and you're going to have to play with it and actually look at the display. And if it's bright sunlight, you're not going to see the display all that well, so you're going to have to kind of cover it with your hand a bit so you can see what mode you're in, and that can be a bit of a hassle. So it works better if you're inside versus outside, because you can see the display on the transmitters a lot easier if you're not in direct sunlight. So the other thing that I would change would be the wind muffs, because they don't really fit on there all that great, and they can come off when you don't want them to. So that would be one of the other things that I would change. So the one thing that I would absolutely not change is how compact this unit is and how well it sounds. It sounds really good for what it is. It's a budget microphone system that actually punches well above its price point. So that it probably attributes to the fact that these guys are affiliated with Xiaomi, and they've got a hold of a lot of microphone capsules that they use on their phones, which are really high quality. So if you're wondering why it's such high quality, I would anticipate that these guys are also making the same capsules for their phones, and that is why all the audio sounds so good. So the one thing that would have been nice is if they had sent a case. So I bought this case at the dollar store. I think it was like $3. So you can get a case for it, but it should have actually came with a case, a proper case that you could put everything in, because you don't want it to get scratched up or marked up or anything like that. But it would have been nice if it had to come with a case. So what are my final thoughts on this microphone system? Well, it is budget friendly. It sounds good. It is extremely compact, and it has that unique feature where the transmitters and the receiver are magnetized themselves, meaning you can kind of stick them different places, and I thought that was kind of cool. But the fact that you can put the transmitters right in the housing and have it all charge in there without having to put it in a separate charging case, well, I gotta tell you, I was very impressed by that. So tell me in the comments what you thought of this microphone system. How did it sound? Did you like the way it sounded? How does it make my voice sound? What did you think of the feature like the reverb and the noise cancellation? Udefine also makes another microphone system, and this one is called the Mic Lite. If you'd like to learn about this one, well, on the end screen there'll be a thing that you can click on, and you can learn about this one to see which one is best suited for you. So take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video, which will be this one. Bye.